Good evening from Rupp Arena. We're right behind us. The Big Z National Player of the Year campaign just began as Kentucky beat Georgia for their, fourth win in conference play. Cats won 105-96, the third game this year, scoring 100 or more points. There's lots to talk about from the game, but really none of it matters because everybody's talking about one thing, and he's 7'2", and he became eligible this afternoon. Big Z debuted, and he was phenomenal. He thought he was Tayshaun Prince. He tried to dunk on someone. He was blocking shots. He was smiling. It was the Big Z game, and that's all we're going to talk about on this Rapid Reaction with Jack, Zach, and Jacob joining us. He's so excited. Jack, I'll start with you because you've been all over the Big Z beat from the beginning. Let's just start with how we got to the game first, the afternoon, getting him eligible, and then we'll all just rave and celebrate the performance he put on.
Yeah, I am here to tell you they did not think that he was going to be declared eligible this week. Like, this was a complete surprise to everybody in that program, and the fact that this was the result, it kind of makes all of it all the more hilarious because, I mean, they woke up this morning not thinking that Big Z was going to be there. And right after shoot-around, Big Z said that he got the call and Cal was there with him. And there was like this moment of just jubilation, he and Cal crying together. And for that to, if he would have gone in and done, gotten a layup or something, we would have, yay, just a little pity cheer. But like, he goes and he's amazing. Like, all of our wildest dreams about what this kid could be in the 7'2" unicorn and trying to temper expectations and not just focus on the little 30-second highlight tape we've all seen over and over and over again. We've got just don't buy into the hype, don't buy into the hype. And then he just says, screw that, I'm going to go explode, take the roof off of Rupp Arena. I've never seen, it was a moment that I will remember, I think, for the rest of my life, whether it's doing this job as a fan. I was standing up on press row and like, shouting. I couldn't control my body. I couldn't control my excitement. It was something I will remember for the rest of my life.
This is my 15th season on the beat. You can see the gray hairs. And I've certainly seen better wins than beating Georgia, but I'm trying to think of just a moment that's been more fun than that first half when he hit 4 threes. I'm calling them threes even though one was taken back as a 2. In the moment, it was 4 threes. I didn't even expect him to play in the first half, Zach. He checks in 4 minutes in the game for Bradshaw, first media timeout. Right away, we get a block, 2 assists, having a little bit of fun, and then he goes nuclear.
Yeah, I think the whole crowd had the same reaction when he came out there and hit the first 3 and the second and the third and the fourth, which was, holy shit. This guy is actually really good. The behind-the-back pass to Reeves was just off by a little bit, but the fact that he had the cojones, the audacity of this man to throw it behind the back to the corner for a wide open 3. He had a couple of blocks early on, and then the 3 started falling. Like Drew said, I'm only 14 years old, but I don't think that there's never been a more exciting Kentucky basketball moment than that first half. Watching, whether it's on TV or in person, I've never been more excited to watch a basketball game than I was in that first half. It was, like Jack said, it was something I will seriously remember for the rest of my life. And we haven't even talked about all the other things that went on because it honestly doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Who cares?
Because Big Z did stuff that I don't think anyone, not even John Calipari, expected. Like Jack said, they both cried when they found out this morning, this guy.
After shoot-around. They had already done shoot-around and then got the email.
After shoot-around. And I mean, especially with what he went through, he had multiple illnesses, he had setbacks all over the place, limited practice time. He's essentially like several months behind the rest of his teammates. And for him to come out here and look like this was seriously something that I don't think we'll ever see. It'll be a long time before we see something like that again.
Jack said he was standing up on press row. He was. I don't think we're supposed to do that.
He's doing more than standing up.
Yeah, looking around the arena, there were people running up and down the aisles and the stairs. People left their seats. I just really haven't seen anything like that in the first half of an SEC game. Jacob, you're pretty new to it, but I mean, you were also eating it up with everyone else in BBN. What did you think of the performance?
Yeah, like I have nowhere near the experience with UK basketball as you guys, but this was definitely the craziest I've seen Rupp Arena. I was getting ready before the game to put something out saying it's his first game, temper expectations, don't jump down this guy's throat if he has a bad game, and then he has that game, and expectations are through the roof. That was unbelievable.
What happens now, Jack? I mean, other than Naismith Player of the Year conversation, top 5 pick, really though, what does it mean for this rotation? They were already deep. We didn't expect he was ever going to play at all. We were hopeful he'd get an opportunity, but what now? What the hell is Cal supposed to do with all this?
And here's the thing. It wasn't just made shots. He was where he was supposed to be. Yeah, he had some missed assignments and was blindly kind of running around at times. And he looked, there were times that he looked like it was his first time playing college basketball. But the majority of the time, he looked like he didn't just belong, but he was good, and it just was not the made shots. The fluidity, the guard skills, catching the rebound and bringing it up the floor, and then realizing, oh, I should probably not give him all of that yet. Like we'll ease into the full coast to coast stuff and dunking off. He had that spin in transit in the lane and about dunked on somebody's head, and it was like, where did that come from? How is that in your bag? So I have come to the realization, watching him in 16 minutes of play, that
that's all he played?
That he
played the whole game.
He's a player. He's not just a token 7'2", like, oh, it's a circus act. No, he's a player. And I don't know, if you're John Calipari, how you look at that and go, oh, I can't put him in like, he has to play. And somebody's probably going to have to see their minutes take a hit because he needs to be on the floor.
He needs to learn the rules a little bit more, though. He had the
the chin up on the dunk isn't normal.
Well, we asked him about that too, and he said that back in Croatia, that's not a rule. So he does that. He said he's done that all the time. He said he's even pulled a rim down once over there. So he's still learning the rules a little bit too. And he threw a little elbow. And he got pushed first. He didn't start it. He's
squirted himself in the face with a Gatorade bottle.
Hilarious. Made Trey Mitchell crack up. Everything.
He's a meme.
He is a walking meme.
He did have like this childlike innocence the whole game. I told Zach, it's like when you're in Little League basketball and you're like 8 years old and you score and you're staring at your parents and smiling, run down the court. You're not being competitive.
Hi, Mom.
You're just happy to be there. That's what he was doing in Rupp Arena to 20,000 people. He's giggling in the middle of a competitive game. I think if it weren't Big Z in his first game, Cal might have murdered him for some of the stuff he was doing. He'll probably hear about it later, the hanging on the rim.
Cal was pissed about that one where he did the no-look pass to Reeves at the end.
The audacity.
The thing we haven't talked about is Kentucky did not play that well on defense at all this game. They gave up 96 points. Georgia nearly came back, and, they ended up making Kentucky not cover. UK was up 28 at the under 8 timeout and only won by 9. And part of it was because Big Z wasn't the only guy that did this, but you're throwing no-look passes because he just has the audacity, as Jack said, to do some of these things is kind of mind-blowing that he could come out here and think, not only to think that he could do that, but actually execute it was, I'm becoming at a loss for
He's 7'2" Rob Dillingham.
Who's Rob Dillingham? all I saw was one thing tonight, Big Z. I don't even know what else was. We probably should respect some other people because Trey Mitchell and Antonio Reeves did go off.
Mitchell went 8 for 10 from the field and had 23 points. DJ Wagner had 18 points and 10 assists. Reed Shepherd went 4 for 5 from 3. Antonio Reeves has 21 points every game. Yeah. That's whatever. But everyone else is just. Justin Edwards hit 2 threes.
Should we talk about
Shout
that?
out.
Well, we don't need to talk about the rest of Justin Edwards' games. I think we've already kind of.
He fouled out.
He did.
He's not going the right direction.
23 fouls in this game actually for Kentucky. It was kind of an ugly game, and this was something that Brandon Ramsey was telling me and Steven as we were watching this game because we were lost in the Big Z aura. But Coach Ramsey was like, "Hey, Kentucky really didn't play that well this game, but when you're scoring like that, Kentucky shot 62% from the field, 14 of 25 from 3. That's 56% from 3. Those are insane numbers. Like Drew said, this is the third time hitting 100 points, 105 on the night." Offense is
first time since November. It's been a while.
Forever it feels like. Yeah, forever. The defense. It is just what it is at this point. If we're going to get off the Big Z topic for just a second.
Why do we have to get off Big Z?
You're right. Never mind. The defense is great. If you're scoring 105 points, you're going to win 9 times.
35 free throws for Georgia. Have we ever seen non-home cooking in that way? There were some of the foul calls, and they would call it 4 minutes after the shot rolled out or whatever. There was some anti-home cooking here that we also need to address, I think.
Kentucky's got the worst home whistle in sports.
It's terrible. Refs were awful. Sorry. But
it's all right.
Yeah, I should be careful.
So
no names.
refs weren't great. Edwards, we got to get him going. I want it so bad. But, missing layups. He did have the threes, but it's still so much more they have to untap. If not, I don't know what you do because the season's moving along. But really, as we've addressed, great game by a lot of guys, but we're only talking about one as we move on. We finally got to see Big Z even without the performance, which is stolen the night, just getting him eligible was such a nice surprise before the game. Kid deserves it. It's finally done. We can all move on. Shout out to the billboard. It's a great win for billboards everywhere. We know those still work. Billboards, good for you. Keep putting those up. We're going to sign off now. Continue this celebration. We could do this all night, but we got to get off the internet. Comment, subscribe, do all of those fun things, and then keep your Big Z party going on at home. And we'll see you back, not here, where we South Carolina Tuesday. Maybe a little more Big Z there, but for now we'll sign off for Drew. I always get it backwards. Zach, Jack, Jacob, Steven over there, Phoenix over there, and Big Z's probably already on campus doing God knows what. He deserves it. Congratulations to him and
Enjoy your
everyone
night,
else.
bud.
Have a good night.
He's got a good night coming.